preamble. What is it? The preamble is the introduction of the Constitution. Its purpose is to state why the U.S. Constitution was written. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. But what does this mean? The federal government gains its power from the people rather than the states. The government exists to maintain peace at home, provide national security, provide national defense, promote the well-being of the people, and to protect their liberties. Establish justice. This means to keep everything in order and fair in our country. The main example of this would be our judicial system. Ensure domestic tranquility. To keep peace between citizens and ensure safety for the people. This would be policemen, firemen, National Guard, etc. Provide for the common defense. This means protection of the people. A main example of this is the military, such as the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines. Promote the general welfare. Work for the good of the country. The government gives people in need things to live off of. Secure the blessings of liberty. To abide by the Constitution. We continue to follow the guidelines of the Constitution to this day.
Articles 1, 2, and 3. The Articles are divisions of the Constitution, and each one covers a general topic. The Articles are: Article 1 establishes legislative branch. Article 2 creates an executive branch to carry out laws passed by Congress. 3 establishes the Supreme Court to head judicial branch. Section 1 of Article 1 creates the U.S. Congress. Section 2 and 3 set forth details about House of Congress and the House of Representatives and Senate. Section 1 of Article 2, the executive powers shall be vested in a President of the United States of America. This section and those that follow detail the powers and duties of the presidency. Section 1, Article 3, gives national government power to create lower federal courts. Section 2 outlines the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court and other federal courts to rule on cases. And Section 3 defines treason against the United States. A court case, Cahalan v. Maryland, was a case that said Congress has authority to regulate interstate commerce.
Go.
Article 4 explains the relation between one state to another and the national government. The article means that the powers the states have between them and the national government is limited. For Article 5, it spells out the ways the Constitution can be made or changed. And explains how you can make and change the laws. It can be changed in 2 ways, by a convention or by the House of Representatives. Article 6 establishes that the Constitution's laws, based by Congress and treaties, are the supreme law of the land. Any law passed by Congress must be followed. Article 7 addresses ratification and the states that the Constitution would take effect after it was ratified by 9 states. The Constitution comes into effect after 9 states have ratified it.
First Amendment protects the freedom of assembly, free speech, assembly, and press guarantees allow citizens to express and be exposed to a wide range of opinions. Second Amendment is the right to bear arms and a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be configured. The The Third Amendment is no soldier shall, in time of peace, be quarantined in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in the manner to be prescribed by law. The Fourth Amendment is the right of the people to be secure in their houses and
Amendment 5. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless before a grand jury. You don't have to testify against yourself in court. In a court case, Quinn versus United States, the judge stated the words "in any criminal case," and at this time you could only plead the fifth when those words are ignored. More people would become guilty without this amendment because they would have to say everything. Amendment 6. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall be committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and of the accusation, to be confronted with the witness against him, to have compulsory for obtaining witness in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. Amendment 7. In suits at common law where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved. Right to a trial by jury. Can't read your handwriting.
Amendments 8 to 15. Amendment 8 prohibits excessive bail, so a state can't make a high bail so you can't get out to your trial. Amendment 9. Government cannot limit your rights, just stated in the Bill of Rights. If we did not have this amendment, we would not have the extra rights. Amendment 10. To make reaffirm relations of national and state governments. If we didn't have this amendment, we would not have strong state and national governments. Amendment 11, can't sue without consent of federal courts. If we didn't have this, people would be suing the states a lot. Amendment 12, people have the right to vote separately for president and vice president. Amendment 13, this amendment ended slavery. This was because of the Civil War. Amendment 14, this granted citizenship to everyone born or naturalized in the U.S. It bans states from denying anyone's life, liberty, property without due process of law. Bans states from denying people from equal protection. And State 15 gave African Americans the right to vote. This was also because of the Civil War.
This is the 16th Amendment, and it gave Congress the power to levy individual income taxes. It means that they could impose taxes on individuals. In the late 1870s, a movement was underway to institute a graduate income tax. The 17th Amendment stated that people, instead of state legislators, could elect senators. This means people elect senators and they got more power. The 18th Amendment prohibited the manufacture, sale, and transportation of alcoholic beverages. It meant that they wanted to establish the sale and production of liquor. In 1987, Congress passed a legislation to reduce a state's highway funding if a state doesn't raise the drinking age to 21. The 19th Amendment guaranteed the right to vote, or for women to vote. Meant women could vote, and New York adopted that, or suffrage and legislation in 1912. Men didn't think that women should have the right to vote. 20th Amendment limited the terms for elected officials. Some officials were called lame ducks because they were so inactive in office. The 21st Amendment repealed the 18th Amendment. Alcohol was still legal to transport. If we didn't have this amendment today, we would be able to drink.
The 22nd Amendment limited president to 2 full terms in office. The president is allowed to be in office for 8 years. Eisenhower was restricted the first president, to 2 terms. If we didn't have this amendment, we wouldn't have a president today. The 23rd Amendment grants voters in Washington, D.C. have the right to vote for the president and vice president. People of Washington, D.C. could vote. The 24th Amendment forbade the payment of poll tax to vote in federal election. Prohibits poll tax in federal election, and it also means that you have to pay to vote. In 1965, African Americans of Virginia hoped that recently passed Voting Rights Act would allow them to vote. Also, African Americans had to pay to vote and also take a test. The 25th Amendment provide for a succession of the office of president in the event of death. It also means that the vice president will take over. The 35th president, John F. Kennedy, died November 22nd, 1963. Then Johnson took over after he died. The 26th Amendment limited minimum voting age to no more than 18 years of age. Means that everybody over 18 can vote. And then the 27th Amendment banned Congress from increasing its members' salaries until after the election. The amendment was drafted by James Madison. And that's a wrap.